The controversial Regulatory Standards Bill is back in the spotlight. Parliament's Finance and Expenditure Select Committee is hearing from the public about the bill for much of this week. It's championed by ACT leader David Seymour, who is also currently acting Prime Minister, and we spoke a short time ago.
New Zealanders face too much red tape and regulation. It means we spend too much time getting permission, following rules, instead of actually producing. You know, it's your builder who says it takes longer to get consent than build the thing. It's your teacher who says, I just want to help children reach their potential, but all I actually do is fill out forms for the ministry. It's your banker who says this AML and this triple CFA, all these acronyms takes up too much of my time. The Regulatory Standards Bill shines a light on politicians when they make rules so that if they're going to make something that will dump a lot of cost on people, at least it's easier for the voters to see them doing it.
Isn't this what the Select Committee process does already, though, when it comes to scrutinising legislation?
I think the challenge with Parliament and Select Committees is the amount of information they have, and I say this as someone who's sat on one for years. I was on the committee when the triple CFA changes went through that ended up requiring people to report how much cat food they were buying before they could get a credit card. If you don't have really transparent information, then even select committees and parliaments, let alone voters who are very busy, can miss the impact of rules that politicians are making.
Minister, why do you think it is proving such a lightning rod for complaint?
Frankly, there's always something. When I first got into politics, it was the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and people went out and they did petitions and they protested. Then there was a lot of stuff about introducing the 5G. At one point it was vaccinations. There always seems to be something that people want to protest against, and right now the RSB, I think, has become a lightning rod for a lot of people's anger. I understand that, but frankly, while people are entitled to their opinions, they're not entitled to their own facts, and there's people saying things that aren't true. They're saying companies will be able to sue the government. The bill rules that out. They're saying it's undemocratic. It actually increases the information to Parliament so voters can monitor politicians better. They say that it's going to, somehow be sneakily put through Parliament. It's going through Parliament this week with lots of hearings. So, everything about this bill has been done by the book. It's going to make New Zealand a more democratic place with less red tape, more transparency. And I think it's something that absolutely is essential if we want to achieve all of our goals in this country.
You say it's going to mean less red tape, but is this not just going to slow things down and create extra work, especially if the legislation can be applied retrospectively and to laws we already have in place?
Yeah, it's true that it's going to make more work for people in Wellington who are dreaming up new rules and regulations. They're going to have to do more work to justify forcing everyone else to follow more laws. But I just put it this way, if people think that it's too much work to go through a logical thought process before you force a rule on everyone else, then imagine what a drain it is for everyone else in New Zealand to have to follow rules that weren't made properly. So, yep, in a way it puts more bureaucracy on the bureaucrats, but that actually evens things up a bit for the rest of us who have to follow all these rules.